April 5th, 2013, and we're talking with Thelma Roberts this morning. We're going to go back in time with Thelma and talk about her childhood. She wasn't born in Fairgrove, but she moved here when she was pretty young. What age were you when your parents brought you
Probably
here?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. And then this is a farm that was one time belonged to your father and your grandfather. Can you tell me their names?
Porter and Hattie Headley was my grandfather and grandmother. And John and Midge Wood was my parents' name.
And your father built this house we're in when? What year was it?
About 32.
1932. And then later on, you and your husband lived in, well, I guess about the same time. I need to go back farther. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to maybe your earliest memories. Can you remember things that happened on this farm when you were just a young child?
I kind of can remember some that happened when we lived in the old house down there, but not too much when I was little. I remember one time we had some little chickens, and Mother said that I picked one up and I was just squeezed it like everything, and she says, "Thelma, you're going to kill that little chicken." I said, "Well, it's mine anyway."
And that's one of your earliest memories?
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you go with your dad out to the barn?
Oh yeah. At one time, Daddy bottled milk and hauled it to town.
To Springfield?
Now, I was pretty young, but my older sister, that is 10 years older than me, said that was awful. He'd come home the middle of the afternoon with all those bottled stores, and of course she was old enough, she had to do it. But I was pretty young, and I don't remember that too much. But I did go to the barn with him.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I have 2 sisters. One was 5 years older than me, and one was 10 years older than me. They're both gone. I have a brother that's about 2.5 years older than me. He lives in Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just talk about what happened here in the house. Did you help your mother, or was it mostly farm work?
No, I helped Mother in the house, dishes and whatever had to be done. And I loved to sew from the time I was about 10 years old. I made my clothes. And
everybody made their clothes back then. I didn't get the year that you were born. I think
26.
It was 1926. And it just seemed like difficult times, but also people had a lot of fun back then. You probably had a big garden out back here.
We had a huge garden. We didn't know it was difficult times.
Everybody was in the kind of the same boat.
And the neighbors, Frank Headley and over this east of us, why we were all friends with our neighbors and everything, and we didn't know we were having a hard time. we enjoyed life.
And did everybody in this community go to this church right up here, Mount Comfort Church? Or
no, not everybody did. And
what churches were around here that people went to?
Well, when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6, down here at Hickory Barron in our school, Peace Chapel started a church down there. I've got a book if you want to see it.
Okay.
And we would walk across the field to Sunday school down there. And then they decided to build their church up, north of us. And so then we went all the time to Mount Comfort from then on.
From the time before you can remember?
5, 6, yeah, as long as I can.
And you went to Bible school there and Sunday school there? And can you remember they ever using horses on this farm, or did they mostly use tractors?
My dad had horses, Jack and Kate, and he had horses to use.
Did you ever get to work the horses?
Well, no, I never did do that. He did get a tractor before he died. Like I told you, my father died when I was 15, but he did have a tractor before he died.
Did he teach you how to operate the tractor?
Well, I sat on it.
But you were helpful in the milk barn.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did you guys hand milked cows before you got a milker?
Daddy hand milk. No, time we come along, we had milkers.
And you could operate them just as good as he could?
Well, this was when James and I had it.
Uh-huh. And
When Daddy was alive, he had the hand milk.
And you were 15, and you helped take over the farm. Your mother got to live in the place, and you were able to help all the way through there. And say you started to school at Hickory Barren.
Yes.
And went there 8 years.
8 years.
And who were your friends there? What did you do?
Oh, we played ball lots of times, and
Did everybody had a nice ball glove?
well, no, we caught them without a ball glove. Probably didn't hardly know what a ball glove was. No, I guess some of the boys did have, but we played together. Cause see, at a small school like that, you don't have too many people, so the girls played with the boys.
There were probably less than 30 kids in the whole school.
Oh yeah, usually less than 30.
And it was all 8 grades. I guess you didn't probably have a kindergarten. You probably
No.
first, second, third through the 8th. And who were your favorite teachers?
That Nellie Cook I was telling you about, I just loved her.
And she was one of your first teachers.
No, she's about the third or fourth grade.
Okay.
I had Cordy Smith for probably the first 3 grades. And I think she went to Fairgrove and taught a few years after that. But anyway, but
You think you got a pretty good grade school education?
yes, we did.
Did you help teach the little kids when you got a little bit older?
But
I think they call that mentoring or something now like that.
oh yeah, to help take care of the younger kids. Yes, I think we got a real good education. Hazel Andrews was one of my best friends down there. She was a year older than me, but she kind of took care of me when I started school.
And you walked to school every day, I suppose.
Walked across our field and Frank Hadley's field, and there's always a bull in the pasture, and you just made it.
You tried to go where he wasn't?
Yeah.
But you've been around cattle all your
yeah.
life, so you understood.
Yeah, but we've been around bulls all our lives.
You knew to be careful, and things can happen.
Yeah.
But you made it to school and back for 8 years, and then you went from here to Fairgrove School. And you really thought that was a big change in
That was a big school. It was, used to one room and then you go where there's, and I wondered how on earth I was going to find my way around, but you soon learn, so anyway.
Did you stay in one room for all your classes, or did you go from room to
We
room?
had to go room to room.
Room to room.
I guess that was what rather kind of scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that you
it
had
is scary.
to try to find the right room to go to.
I bet kids are still scared when they have to,
Yeah, but they've
in
got-
4 minutes, can we make it?
They kind of meander and then they get to class real fast.
Well, you fell in love with a man about maybe in your last year of high school.
No.
Tell me about that.
I went with Hazel Andrews to visit Fairgrove when I was in the 8th grade,
Okay.
and James was in the 9th grade.
And he
Now,
was going to Fairgrove School.
He had gone to Fairgrove, he went to Fairgrove all 12 years, but he was in the 9th grade. And I got acquainted with him then.
How'd you get acquainted?
Well,
Did you
hey-
bump into him in the hall? He was a basketball player.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
he was a basketball player. I guess Hazel probably told me
Okay.
that.
A formal introduction.
I don't know whether it was or not, but he said he had seen me out of school a lot with my sisters,
Uh-huh.
and he knew who I was. So, but I didn't.
Well, I've seen pictures of you when you were that age, and you were a remarkable looking lady.
Thank you.
And his family lived over on the other side, kind of northeast of Fairgrove.
Out there by Lost Bridge, they
Mhm.
have a farm out there.
So you guys, did you kind of go steady through high school
Well,
then?
no, Daddy wouldn't let me go when I was a freshman.
Okay.
But from about then on, we went together.